This Lexus RX 450h is not the sharpest car to drive. The hybrid system does not allow you to plug it in, so you cannot reap the company car benefits that come with super low CO2 emissions, and the infotainment system lags behind its rivals. Yet still, this big luxury SUV is worth recommending. Before we explain why, here's your reminder to subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel and turn on those notifications by ringing the bell icon. That way you'll be kept informed of when our videos go live. The RX was refreshed in 2020 and included some mild styling updates. And when we say mild, we mean mild. So a revised grille, slightly slimmer headlights, and a little bit more rounding to the bumpers. And that's it. There's not an awful lot of difference between this one and the pre-facelift model. That said, this is still a striking looking vehicle and arguably perhaps not quite as brash as rivals such as the BMW X5 and Audi Q7. There is also a sense of exquisite quality that pervades the RX, from the depth of the sonic titanium paint to the weight of the doors, which stay open at almost any angle, which would just be a pleasure to live with. Okay, that's enough of that. You might have noticed from the length of this car, or indeed the title of the video, that our review is of the extended RX 450HL. This means we have an extra 11 centimetres of bodywork behind the rear axle compared with the standard RX, which is enough to squeeze in 2 extra seats, which means this car is a 7-seater. With all seats in place, there's still enough room in the boot for a few small bags. The third row of seats fold electrically to give just under 500 litres of space. Then, if it's more space you're after, the second row of seats can also fold flat. It's worth noting that while it's not exactly small inside, the RX does fall behind rivals for luggage capacity. The third row of seats are really for occasional use because they're quite tricky to get into. And then once you're there, even with the second row pushed forwards, legroom is not exactly in abundance, plus the floor is quite high, so you sit with your knees up and there's not very much headroom, so they're not particularly comfortable. The separate ventilation controls and cup holders are welcome, but if you would like a 3-row SUV where seats 6 and 7 are going to be in regular use, something such as a Land Rover Discovery or Hyundai Santa Fe is going to be a better bet. As a passenger, I would be much happier in this second row because it is luxurious in terms of space and the seats are really, really comfortable. And if you put this centre armrest down, you've even got some heated seat controls and 2 cup holders. The middle seat is not a separate seat like in the best family SUVs. However, this bench is definitely wide enough for 3 people. Now, considering this generation of RX has been around since 2015, you would think it would look really, really dated in here. But apart from the fact it does not have digital dials like most of its rivals do, there's not much in here to really give it away how old it is. Importantly, the infotainment system was updated for the 2020 refresh, including the option of this 12.3-inch screen. As well as being competitive in terms of screen size, this system has 2 advantages over what went before. The first is that it's touchscreen. Even if it is a little bit too far away to reach, it means you don't need to battle with Lexus's pad here. And then second of all, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you also don't have to battle with the fiddly menu layout either. Just note that for CarPlay to work, you have to plug into one of the USBs under this central armrest, not the one under the screen. This improved infotainment system lives in what is a really lovely interior. Okay, so this wood detailing here on this top of the range Takumi model is not going to be to everybody's tastes. However, build quality is impeccable, the material's tactile. Having nice clear buttons here makes everything simple to use. And being a Lexus, standard equipment is generous. These days, the RX is only available as a hybrid, It is what's sometimes known as a self-charging system, but what that really means is that you just can't plug it in, and therefore the EV only range is tiny. If you're stuck in a traffic jam or coasting along, then you can run along in electric only mode. However, go just a little bit onto the accelerator and the petrol engine is sure to cut it. Don't therefore buy this Lexus hybrid with the expectation you'll be able to do most of your journeys on electric power. The petrol engine is a 3.5 litre V6 and the total power output is 308 brake horsepower, and the way it delivers the power is so effortless because it's so smooth when the engine cuts in, and when you do hear the engine at low revs, the growl of the V6 is quite satisfying. Getting from 0 to 62 miles per hour takes a respectable 8 seconds, while the top speed is 112 miles per hour. Those might not be the sort of figures to get a petrol head's heart racing, but then this car isn't designed to appeal to that kind of audience. No, it's aimed at people who value and appreciate the engineering that goes into making a car as capable, sumptuous and reliable as a Lexus. The kind of people that enjoy having a bit of power on tap, but are more likely to drive it in a calm and relaxed way. This car just makes you want to ease back. You just can't help but feel relaxed when you're driving it. That said, compared with a plug-in hybrid SUV, the fuel bills might give you cause for some anxiety. Lexus claims this RX 450 HL will do 34.4 miles per gallon. Admittedly, our test car has less than 500 miles on the clock, but so far we've failed to get it above 32 miles per gallon. There is a train of thought that says if you can afford to spend over £50,000 on a luxury SUV, then you won't be so concerned with refueling it and the costs associated with that. However, with so many plug-in hybrid SUVs on the market today, Lexus has really lost its edge when it comes to running costs. As for ride and handling, the RX never really had the edge in either regard, but while it's no sporting SUV, that doesn't mean it's not satisfying to drive. Far from it, in fact. The meaty controls, fantastic insulation from road and wind noise, and the sense of harmony from the consistent weight of the controls gives the RX a real finesse. It's not just the steering and pedal weights that are matched either. Even the lever for this automatic gearbox has a familiar heft to it, as do the indicator stalks and even the electric window switches. Ride comfort is good, and there are a couple of sport driving modes that make the suspension a little firmer and the drivetrain a little sharper, but actually the RX is best left in its normal setting. Although the dampers are adjustable, you never get the floating on air sensation that you do in an Audi Q7 on air suspension. However, the RX is still a very relaxing place in which to cover ground. You'll feel when you go over a bump, but it's a distant sensation. It never fidgets or thumps, it wafts. Yes, that's what it does. It's a car for just wafting around in. At the start of this video, we outlined in many regards why the RX can't beat the best in class. And that's precisely why, after 6 years, it remains very much a niche choice. That said, excellent reliability, a highly rated dealer network, loads of standard equipment, and outstanding build quality should ensure the RX is a pleasure to own. And so while we be the first to admit that the RX isn't faultless, we can also see why owners love them. What do you think? Would it tempt you away from an X5, Q7 or Volvo XC90? Let us know in the comments. And if you're looking for a premium SUV or any other used car, head to cargurus.co.uk where you'll find some great deals from top-rated dealers.